Hey folks, well this is going to be something a little bit different. A few weeks ago I talked about the possibility and throwing out the idea if you guys were interested in like getting your stories on video that you can share with your kids and share with your family and loved ones. I'm a big believer on using technology that we have available to us to get us on camera as much as possible for future generations, so people can kind of get the idea of your personalities, and also for our community specifically, so we can get to know each other a little bit better, put a face to a name, and just kind of be able to visit with people and kind of know them better. I've been in the position, Dad and I and Vicky have been in the position for years of being able to kind of show our personalities, show what we want to show on video, and lots of you seem to kind of gravitate toward that. So we want to share you guys with more people. So what we've got here is our very first recorded Zoom call with Danny and Dawn Meadows. I think they're from Virginia. And it was just a true joy for Vicky and I to get to talk to them, meet them, and have a great conversation, learn a little bit more about them. Now, Danny's name may sound familiar to you because he's the one that works at Jim Price Auto and actually sends us stuff all the time for giveaways. All those Zebo cool flashlight stuff and knives and all different kinds of stuff like that he sends us to give away on our Friday night giveaways. So anyway, without further ado, here is the call with Vicky and I and Danny and Dawn. Hope you guys enjoy this, and then I'll come back at the end and wrap it up.
Based on the video that we did, and I kind of threw it out to everybody, is just kind of, I wanted to give a platform so you guys could just tell your story. Tell your story about who you are, where you come from, what you do, how you met, whatever you want to share. So go ahead.
You don't want my storytelling because we don't have enough time to really record it. I'm all over the place. I can give you every detail.
And that's a Cajun for you. You never know, right, left, up, or down. Gotta be prepared every minute.
Okay, so how long have you guys been married?
We've been married. We've been together 32 years. Been married. Just celebrated 31 years on the 12th of August.
Wow, wow. That's a long time for these days.
Yeah.
It is.
Hence,
it is.
Hence the gray hair that Miss Clairol and my hairdresser do. Yeah, we have to cover the grays.
I hear you.
Well,
I'm there with you.
I was because I'm from Virginia. I'm from Madison County, Virginia, which is right up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. My family was born and raised in what is now the Shenandoah National Park, and where they were all the Black Irish families that settled all through the Appalachians, all the way down to Tennessee. And that's all they were, just homesteaders in the hills. They just lived off the land and made moonshine, did all the normal things that hillbillies do, and anything to make an extra dollar, right? So that's where they all took root up. This side, we're on the east side of the Blue Ridge, and then the other side of the family, but they're on the western side, which was Rockingham County and Shenandoah County, Page County. And then, when the park came in and they wanted to make this an actual park, we're talking, 5,000 acres. All those people got run out of the park. The houses got burnt, and then it was like we always had this thing against the government. I was born and raised being against the government, but because they was all, because, hey, my family got run out, got burned out, and everybody had to go what was right on the borderline, right across the ridge, where it wasn't park no more, and they all homesteaded on each side of the mountain, and then that's where it kind of come to be, and that little town I'm from, Syria, I think I told you, Dave, I think you might have Googled Gray's Mountain Lodge, which is in Syria, Virginia. And it was one way in, one way out. And I pretty much was raised. My mom and dad worked all the time. And then I pretty much stayed with my grandmother, both of them. One of them was a banjo player and a tobacco spitter and cussed like a sailor. And Granny she was a saint. And she's pretty much the one who pretty much kept, God in my life, and pretty much the rights and wrongs. And my other grandmother, you know, she was all over the place, and had long, long red hair, and she was a sailor at heart, I would think you would say, but she was a wonderful lady, and oh, what lost. And anyhow, that's where I was born and raised there. Never left home until I joined the Air Force when I was 17 years old. I graduated early, and then joined the Air Force, and I went in the Air Force, stationed in my final duty station was Luke, of course, in Arizona. And then from there, I moved back home, and it was supposed to have been temporarily, but I met with my first wife, not as good as this one. Of course, we know that, right? Right thing to say. And she was from Phoenix, and she actually still lives in Phoenix. And actually, these two are buddies, and but I did love Arizona. I had a great time fishing, hunting, and the things I did out there. So, but anyhow, when I moved back here, I got out in '82 and got into car business, and I've been in the car business ever since. And what's that, 36 years, 37 years, something like that. So, and I started parts, and I got into parts into the business. I was a mechanic for a while, body shop at night, writing service, doing warranty work in the evenings, then going to body shop to work at night, and then got into parts, and pretty much stayed in parts from probably 83, 84, I guess, and then I'm still in parts. So that's what I'm doing now. Where I'm at now, Jim Price. I've been there for 21 years. Last week.
Oh, the 23rd.
The
On
23rd. The 23rd.
Thursday.
21
No,
years.
Sunday.
Was it?
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
A few days ago.
And then, but that's my story.
That's a long time to stay employed in one place too. It used to be the old days that was kind of common, but these days not so much.
It's not, and I love what I do. I mean, that I've told you, Eric, what I do and everything. I got 23 employees, and I've built a great team. I could pretty much not even be at work, and it still does its job. And really, sometimes it feels like I'm not even wanted anymore. It just runs itself, But I got a great assistant manager too, so he's fantastic. And I'm almost as bad as her. I can ramble and talk, and I can tell you some stories too. That's the hillbilly, I guess, in me, but it ain't as bad as this one. So, but I'll let her tell her side of her story.
She looks.
Go ahead.
Dawn looks so familiar. She looks just like somebody. I don't know. It's weird.
Post office.
Yeah. The one is. No. Look like somebody. I don't.
Why in the world? And I'm working from home, so I don't have no makeup, no hair done. I just get up, throw on the shorts, and working from home.
I hear you.
It took a while to get used to, but now that I've been doing it since March, and we got a notice this week that we won't go back until November 9th. And I'm hoping and praying that they'll let me work from home maybe 1 to 2 days a week, but we'll see. I think they're now seeing, I work for the county in which we live, which is good. You used to go for a job for money. I go for benefits, So I started where I'm at now. 21 years ago, we started jobs within 6 weeks of each other.
Wow.
And I've been there. I just started my 22nd year. And so I went to work for the county because our daughter was starting kindergarten. And on it. Sorry, keep shutting off. Our daughter was starting kindergarten, and I wanted to be able to be off with her. And the county, have the extra days and stuff. So I I'm still there, and it's funny because our son-in-law is a police officer where I work. Whoops, I guess I shouldn't have said that out loud, but especially the way people are against police officers this day and time. And when she was pinning the badge on him after he graduated, we have like a pinning ceremony, and a lot of the people that I'm there, they're seeing her growing up from being 5 years old. She grew up there because sometimes she'd have to come to work with me, and she brought her little things and did. And it's like, Dawn, did you ever imagine she's come full circle? This has been her family, and now her husband started. So it's kind of cool,
Very
But I'm from Louisiana. I've been in Virginia.
Too long.
Yeah, with him. It'll be 33 years in October. I've been in Virginia. And I was born and raised in Louisiana. You can take me out of Louisiana, but you'll never take Louisiana out of me. I'm very proud of my Southern heritage. Grew up kind of in the country, but somewhat in the city. And, the town I'm from is the oldest town in Louisiana purchased. It's called Natchitoches. And if you're tracking Hurricane Laura right now, we are she's pushing a Category 5. When she makes landfall, if nothing else changes, she will be 7 miles per hour short of a Category 5, 150 mile an hour wind. We're more inland up north, but the way it's coming through, it's going to go right through my hometown. I'll say it a hometown. We have everything there called parishes, which Louisiana is the only state that has parishes where everybody else has counties. So,
Yeah.
I was born and raised there, and anyhow, 87, moved to Virginia. My parents made me move. I graduated high school down in Louisiana, and moved up here in October of 87, met him, and he was my customer in December of 87. I worked in a department store. We have a store out here called Belk, which would be like your Dillard's or Nordstrom's or something like that. And seen him walking in, and boy, he was good looking. I'm a Louisiana girl.
He was.
Yeah.
So great.
He was good looking.
Oh, my
And
God.
I seen sucker written all over his face. And back then, $200 was a lot of money. You're talking 1987. Minimum wage back then was like $4.25. So, but anyhow, and I dicked him out for $200 worth of clothes, honey. He had clothes for months.
I was the youngest parts manager in the region, and going to computer school and everything at the time. And I was wearing my gold chains. Recently divorced, and I was living life. I said, had to wear a suit to work. And then I really felt proud of what I had accomplished, and I was just throwing money everywhere.
Wait a minute, this is my story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, my story.
I'll back out.
Like,
She's sticking to it.
Right here.
yeah.
So, long and short of the story, went to work at the same dealership where he worked in March of 88.
Mm-hmm.
And the office manager, her son and I were good friends. And I grew up having more guy friends than I did girlfriends, because I was just be better off being buddies with the guys than the girls, So went to work there, and so I knew him as my customer. And then we started talking, and in May of 88, we had our first date, engaged in February of 89, married in August of 89. And
guess where our first date was?
our first date, unofficial date, was up on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Okay.
No, Skyline Drive. Skyline Drive.
Same thing.
And her son was with us at the time. And we were driving, and it was a day that we just got out and overlooked and little areas and walked, and just a day of fun, So we thought John was in the back seat and he was asleep. Well, we thought he was asleep. He was very quiet. And we pulled over to one of the overlooks, and boy, at the end, he didn't talk as much as I did, because I guess he just loved to hear my voice back then. Now he just tells me, shut up. But we were talking, and it was getting dusk, it's kind of dark, not really dark, dusk, really getting dark. And it was just that perfect moment. He leans over and he kisses me, and we hear in the back seat, Dad, what you doing?
with a little country voice, you know.
So
But then it was the thing I was growing up, your girlfriend, whoever, Granny had to have the final approval. So that's who raised me pretty much, was Granny. And every Sunday we had a get together, and then big family get togethers all
yeah,
the time. So that was a highlight. She had that long Cajun hair, and
not that long.
longer than it is now. But his shoulder. She had to go meet Granny. That was like the second date, right?
Well, that would have been our first official date.
Yeah.
Driving up here from Louisiana, it was flat. You went to Louisiana and you went to Texas or Mississippi. Everything's flat. Texas is so flat, it's pathetic. It's just, I despise Texas. But I don't despise Texas. It's just the flatness of where my aunt lived at the time in Killeen. That drive from Natchitoches to Killeen was the most boring drive for a 14, 15-year-old kid. Just point blank. So our first official date was for a family reunion, was Mother's Day, and was meeting all of his family. So I'm going, okay. So we did.
It was a big family at the time.
Yeah, all his family over there. And we moved up here to Virginia. I just have an older brother and my mom and dad. And my dad passed away in 2013. And, so I was the only one up here. And when my mom and dad retired and moved back home, I'm the only one up here in Virginia. So I kind of felt abandoned. So, but, I've met this old man and we've been together 32 years through very rough times and very good times. So that's what makes a marriage.
How many kids altogether?
Just two.
Just two.
His son from a previous marriage. Yeah, John, when we got married, he had just turned 4. He had just turned 4. And he lived with us during the summer and would go to his mom's in Phoenix. And he lived with us in the school year, would go to his mom's in the summer.
Gotcha.
So he lived with us. We raised him. And then our daughter came along 5 years later. So John was 9 and Kristen was when Kristen was born. That's our daughter. And she's now 26. But think about it. She's 26 and he's 35. And there's 9 years difference between Danny and I in our ages.
Gotcha. So grandkids yet?
2. June will be 5 and 8 in October. I keep forgetting. Kellen will be 3 in December. And I actually got to FaceTime with him this morning and see them. And the little boy, he's picked up from his cousin. His word now is boobies.
Oh.
And learned that from the cousin because the cousin likes saying that.
That's what.
And
that's right.
Yes, and the little cousin is actually 6 weeks younger than he is. So.
They live in Nashville.
Yeah, they're in Nashville, and our daughter and son-in-law live maybe 20 minutes down the road. So she's a wedding photographer, and so her business is taking a hit. No kids yet, but we do have a granddoggy. So, yeah.
Let me ask you,
Yeah, her husband.
how did you get started with the sign carving? What brought you to this one?
Him.
I can't figure out what.
So how did
it was funny. Well, this is how, it's funny, Vicki, how it started. This is log home, and then I needed to replace the side steps, and I was just so frustrated with it. It was weak. I said, I'm gonna try this. I used to help Dad do cabins and stuff like that, but never, just because I had to do it. I couldn't go hang out with my buddies. Dad was a jack of all trades. He was a welder by trade, logger by day. He was a logger, firewood seller, and a house remodeler, and he'd build cabins and sell them. And
Built our first cabin.
he built our first home. Well, we all built that together when
Yeah, we
Mom was
did.
living. And then, anyhow, I started putting this together out here, and it ended up looking so nice. I'm going, my goodness, that really turned out nice. Even Dawn thought I did a good job.
He really did.
and then I built a walkway, a rock walkway, you know, with the pebbles and the stepping stones. And I was just going, my goodness, that turned out so pretty. So, and then Kristen said, I've been pricing planter boxes at Lowe's and they're like $75. Can you make one, Dad? I said, well, I'm sure I can. I mean, I just got to look at something. And I look at something on the internet, and I'll just do it. And I looked at it. And I had extra stuff, and the garden box turned out good. And I was reading to, you know, you take a router and you just do the edges and everything to kind of give it that beveled look. And then and I said, you know, I've always wanted to use a router, but I never really did. So I just happened to go on YouTube, and I seen Mr. Roten there, and I said, well, that looks interesting. And I said, I think I could do that. And then I started watching and watching. I mean, I stayed on YouTube when I first was doing this. I was watching everything you probably ever done, and it was all the time. I mean, late at night, and I'm going, man, that looks fun. Then I started buying. I bought the little router from Harbor Freight, and then I kept my first sign. It's scary to look at it now, but I kept it as a reminder of how I started. You know, and I didn't have the right bits. And of course, you know, you're a godsend with all the stuff you have. And then I got your bits. Then I got another 3 of those routers. Since then, I've been giving those away. And then I finally got the DeWalt. I've seen the work that you do with the DeWalt. And then and all of a sudden, it just started becoming a passion to see, you know, you do it. Then you tell me my letters are backwards. Dawn said that don't look right. And next thing I go, well, I like that criticism. That's the only way I'm going to learn. Then I was afraid to send you any pictures because I was afraid. Man, I looked at that picture so many times and I still got the blasted letter backwards, you know, or the number. I'm going, what in the world? I thought he said, hey, I guess what it is. I'm not going to get better at that.
And he won't listen to me. I said, put a notch in the letters, you know, how it's supposed to go. Put an arrow. No, and he still don't do it. So
I didn't have, actually, I did. I
oh, but you didn't tell me.
I was not going to tell you that you was right. So, so I said, I did. Oh.
You were right. Yeah.
Yeah. But
those are hard words to say to the wife.
And it was amazing. And then, of course, Dawn, you know, she's my rock when it comes to that, too, because as soon as I carve her sign, and she's in her craft room, I said, you got to check this out. And to make sure I didn't make no major mistake. And then to get her opinion on it. And then now I started adding the colors. And I think, and I was so proud last night when you showed that sign I did of the bar sign. That was one of my most favorite signs I've done. And he still hadn't paid me for that sign, by the way. He works for General Motors. So it ain't that big of a deal to me if he can keep it as far as I care. But anyhow. But it was so nice to get that, you know, and what you said about it too. And at first I wouldn't do that sign. To me, the pictures were too big. I printed them off the internet, you know, and I love carving through them. I have not even practiced pencil stuff yet. And I carve through. I take your advice too. I carve 3 times, you know, and I just do it real, you know, 1/8 of an inch, you know. Then I go back to 3/16, and I go maybe just a little bit more. Or a little bit more in depth. I started doing the background at a 1/4 inch now too. I think it's 1/4, and it gives better depth, you know. But it all started turning out, you know. And then it's the same. Kristen was supposed to finish my website, and in a sense, I'm afraid to let go because I got so many hobbies, and I don't want it to become my job until I retire. You know, I'm an avid bow hunter, and that starts in October. But Dawn's saying you got to get fall stuff out there, and I got to get them in the stores. And I haven't sold. I have no orders for the last 2 weeks because I haven't taken those signs to work. You know, and that's where they sell it. I just take them, leave them. Everybody goes through my office. It's like Interstate 81, but that's a good thing because when they come to my office, my signs are stacked all in my chairs, you know. So so the vendors come in and the reps come in, and that's how I've gotten a lot of signs sold. But
it's nothing for me. I'm upstairs in the house, usually crafting. I make cards and scrapbooking and stuff, and my phone will ding, and he's outside in the shed, and where my office is,
little shed.
You know, I can look out and see the building and stuff, and I'll get this text. Look at this. Look what I did. You know, what do you think? And we'll text back and forth. If the weather's cool and I can open up the windows, we'll holler back and forth out the window.
Yeah, we will.
Hey,
Yeah.
come down here and look at this, you know.
But it's one of the coolest things, Eric.
That's exactly the way we are. When I do something, the first person I want to share it with is her, and vice versa. We're constantly kind of, because Vicky has her own shop now, and she does something, and then she comes in, says, "Come on, take a look at what I did."
Her craft room is like walking into two Michaels combined.
No, it's not that much.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
If we could take his computer up there, you should see the walls of lined 3 deep of crickets and whatever
You
them
can't
things.
see, you can't even imagine. He's just making up stuff. I don't have all that stuff.
No. See, my kitchen pass every year is going to the expo land to the craft show, you know, and I do that
That's in June usually.
usually in June because COVID killed that this year. But I hate to say this, but I went so many times I enjoy going. I was really looking forward to it this year because of what I'm doing.
Because all the women gave him attention because there's not many men there.
I let my hair down and I walk
And
around my curls.
He's back. He's
Boy,
a
I
back
have a
man.
great time.
And so many women are going, I wouldn't want my husband here to know what I spend. I said, he don't care what I spend. He just tells me to spend it.
Yeah, have fun.
But if I want it.
Yeah, you know, so that's why we get along so good.
Family doesn't mean blood.
No.
Right.
Family is who you choose.
I gotta let the Jack Russell in, hold on.
Family is who you choose. And there are times, and I'm going to say this out loud, I think some of the people that I choose for my family I'll take them over my blood family some days. You know, I mean, we all have those. And some of the people, my very, very good close friends, I give them shirt off my back, or if they needed my kidney, I give them my kidney. You know, if they needed my right arm, I cut it off and give it to them. That's just, you know, that's who Danny and I are. You know, we may not have much, but what we've got, we'll share. Don't steal from me and don't lie to me. And I'll, you know, if you need it, ask me. I'll give it to you. You know, we're both that way. You know, my Mimi, she always says, I never meet a stranger.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's the way it is. And you know, when you got invited in our home, quit that, you two. She's picking up. We got the Jack Russell and the Chihuahua. They're one of the Chihuahuas. The two senior dogs are fighting. Jack Russell loves to pick, and my senior Chihuahua is 14 and a half years old.
Get bit again.
So, but anyhow, you know, so you come to my house, and if you don't come to my house and make yourself at home, you can leave.
Yeah.
Because treat my home as though it's your home. You know, if I don't like you, you don't get that pineapple. You know, the emblem of hospitality.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Absolutely.
so funny. Our daughter comes over, and it's literally mom's growth, mom and pop's store. Mom, I need this. Mom, I need that. You got any more of this? And I mean, they leave with a grocery bag or two full of stuff. You know, may not have much else, but if I can feed my kids, and you know, it's great. We love to be able to do it. And my Mimi was the same way. You know, you left with a pack of peas, or, you know, a pie or cornbread or something. You left with something from Mimi's house. That's just the way she was. And
Amazing. All right, so are we wrapping this up?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. You know,
well, if you ever make it to the East Coast,
Oh, yeah.
the doormat's open. It's out. Door's open.
Always welcome in our home. Y'all know that.
Yeah, he's
We
talking
love to have
about
people.
getting a motorhome or
I'd like to have a van conversion or a small motorhome with a sign trailer behind it, and just travel around and go to places like your place, and you know, Frank Jenkins down in Texas, and all of these places.
we
I'd
can't
love
drive
to.
that to Australia.
I just love to drive around the country and stop and meet people like you guys, and just, you know, come out to the trailer and we'll do some stuff together, and that's my dream.
Yeah.
All
Well, I
right,
know you guys got to go, and this is wonderful. We enjoyed this.
Yes.
gotta get ready for this live, so I still got some stuff to put together. So anyway, thank you so much, guys. It's been
Thanks, guys.
a pleasure.
I got a feeling if we were to just sit here and talk, it would be an all-day thing.
We go on and on.
We'll
think
have
so.
to do, oops. As long as my computer don't quit talking off, we'll have to do that. Maybe every 2 or 3 months, get together and just catch up on everything. We might have to do separate sessions. You know, you and I talk, Vicky, Danny and Eric can talk, you know. I don't think we could get a word in edgewise.
That sounds great. Let's definitely do that. So
Okay.
thanks, guys. We'll sign off now, and I'll put an outro on it. I'll put something on there, introduce you guys, and then something at the end. But we'll get out of here and let you guys go on with your night. And we'll be doing a giveaway and mentioning your stuff. We got your package, so we'll be mentioning you Friday night.
Yes.
It's a town called Natchitoches, Louisiana, founded in 1714. And the movie Still Magnolias is my hometown.
One of
Wow.
my favorite movies.
One of the best movies ever.
When I get homesick, I put it in and I have home.
Yeah.
I know several people in the movie. I could give you all kind of tidbits of the people, the father, the houses, the father that plays Jackson's,
Yeah.
the young kids, his dad was the sheriff of our hometown at that time,
Boudreaux.
down home.
That is so cool. All right,
Yeah.
you guys. We're really gonna say goodbye
We're
now.
really gonna say goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep you on all night. We gotta stop.
Y'all have a good night.
You
Thank
too.
you guys.
Thanks,
We
guys.
will be in touch.
That was a blast. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We just had a blast getting to know them a little bit better, and again putting a face with a name, and it was just, we had so much fun. It was tough trying to keep it to a certain time frame. We went way longer than what we had planned, so I had to shorten it up a little bit, but it still was long because we just wanted to talk forever. So I think that the tough part about these kinds of things is keeping them within a certain time frame. But anyway, guys, hope you like that. We're going to be doing more of that. So stay tuned, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.